Hi, my name is Cameron, and my client was a 41-year-old female with a diagnosis of mild intellectual disabilities. She attended a day program Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with approximately 25 other individuals with a diagnosis of intellectual disabilities. She's been attending the program for 6 years. Some activities she enjoys at her program include bowling, horseback riding, shopping, and volunteer work. She loves to participate in her community. When she's upset, she often engages in inappropriate social behaviors. These take the form of verbal aggression, physical aggression, and escaping. Her verbal aggression consists of yelling at others and/or cursing, typically both at the same time. Physical aggression for her consists of hitting herself in the head or face with her fist when she gets mad or frustrated. Most times her escaping behavior is that she will run out of the room. Sometimes that means that she will run outside, even though we've had many talks about how dangerous that can be because her day program is located on a busy street. Her escaping behaviors also include turning her back to someone when they are trying to talk to her. I used event recording to measure the frequency of her behaviors at the day program. I used a data sheet that had 4 columns. The first column for the date, and then a column for each of the behaviors, so verbal aggression, escaping, and physical aggression. Tally marks would be placed under the respectful column whenever she engaged in that behavior. If more than one behavior occurred at a time, then both of the behaviors were marked. Marking them all down when she engages in more than one at a time could have and might have overestimated the frequency of the behavior, but because there were 3 components to the inappropriate social behavior, I felt it was necessary. There was a possibility that the intervention would work on one part of the behavior, but not others. If that occurred and I had not represented each part of the behavior, then it would have looked as though the intervention was not successful at all. If that had occurred while I had the behaviors each represented, then we could have kept the token economy for the behaviors that did decrease and determined another intervention for the parts of the behaviors that did not decrease with this intervention. To determine baseline, I observed the participant for 1 week and used the same data sheet from before, tallying each of the target behaviors, to determine the frequency of behaviors each day. A token economy with reinforcements was used to decrease inappropriate social behaviors. Her tokens were in the form of tally marks on a chart. She could earn 3 points by not engaging in the target behaviors at all when she was upset, but instead talk to staff if someone was bothering her or if she was upset. She could earn 2 points by either not engaging in target behaviors for 1 full day, or if she initially engaged in the target behavior but was then redirected by staff. She could earn 1 point if she did not join in on other peers' arguments. Once she earned a certain amount of points, she was able to redeem them for a reinforcement. A preference assessment was done before deciding her reinforcement. If she earned 7 points, she could redeem them for items such as fingernail polish, lip gloss, or small jewelry. If she saved 15 points, she could redeem them for items such as hairbands, makeup, and a drink to a local coffee shop. If she saved 25 points, she could redeem them for a gift card to a place of her choosing. She chose places such as Starbucks, Steak and Shake, and Walmart. Inter-observer agreement was determined by having a second staff member record data 2 days a week during the 3 weeks of intervention. This was 40% of the sessions. There was a checklist that each staff member used on those days to document the frequency of the behavior. I was then able to compare their documentation and determine the inter-observer agreement. I used mean count per interval, so I totaled the number of tallies for each behavior that was documented by each staff member, divided the numbers, and then multiplied by 100. The inter-observer agreement was 94%. At the beginning of the intervention phase, the behaviors remained approximately the same as in baseline, but over time, each of the behaviors showed a decrease in trend. Because there was not much contrast in the behaviors at the beginning of the intervention phase, the average number of occurrences during intervention is slightly skewed. During baseline, the average of the occurrences of socially inappropriate behaviors was 186%, with an average of the behavior occurring 2.5 times per day. During the intervention phase, the participant engaged in inappropriate social behaviors an average of 82% of the time, with an average of 2.5 occurrences per day. The inappropriate social behaviors decreased by 44%. As for her reinforcements, she did not want to have to wait to accumulate more than 7 points. So as soon as she received 7 points, she was ready to redeem them. The first time she chose the lipstick, and then she chose a small bracelet and then a small ring. I used a multiple baseline graph since I had 3 behaviors. So the first one is verbal aggression, and the second one is escaping, and then the last one is the physical aggression. So I don't know if you can see that. I didn't examine generalization for my study. I don't have a plan to, but if she continues to excel with this intervention in her day program, then I'll suggest it in other settings. I think the intervention worked because this participant enjoys receiving attention, and she received that with this token economy. Not only that, but it was something that was special and specific to just her, and she was earning items that she really enjoys. Sometimes after she would get mad and act inappropriately, she would eventually calm down and later come to me and tell me, or she would say, next time I want to earn those points. So I think at first it was pretty new, but over time she was able to start to get used to it and was starting to keep in mind that if she acted appropriately, she was going to get points and get rewarded. Thanks.